Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. We have a follow-up to a story that's run for quite some time. I've done a lot of videos on this in the past, and we were hoping that it would be finally over. But it seems not. It seems madness continues. The evil that is the Tavistock Clinic is continuing to have life pushed into it. Tavistock has, of course, destroyed the lives of thousands of children. It has given them various medications without full investigation of the reasons why they demand these medications. It has operated on children. It has sterilised innumerable numbers of children, often without not just psychiatric evaluation, but without even a specialist seeing the children. You are getting nurses, and in some cases, not even medical staff, handing out puberty blocking medication with barely any kind of resort to a medical examination. In some cases, it's simply one visit and away they go. Indeed, the report that went into it, the CAS report, suggested it presented such a danger to children, it should be closed with immediate effect. And it said that there will be untold damage and untold lawsuits in time. They've had whistleblowers saying how bad it is, whistleblowers telling people that under no circumstances bring your child there without at least getting psychiatric evaluation first. Staff are bullied. Anyone who speaks up for the protection of children is bullied, castigated or fired. It is such an evil place. It is the culmination, I think, of an identity political push by those evil people like Stonewall, who don't care about children, who just want to push the politics and the agenda. And meanwhile, they'll happily destroy hundreds, if not thousands, of children's lives to attain their ends. And so the government said they will close it, and it should have been closed by now. But the government have decided there isn't anywhere else for these children to go. They need another place where they can be experimented upon, mutilated, and have their lives destroyed. Just because they're closing this one doesn't mean they're not going to continue doing this evil. And so the Tavistock Clinic has been given a reprieve for another year. That's another year in which it can destroy children. Let's look at this report, and I am getting angry before I even get into it. How very conservative. The UK delays plans to close the child experimentation unit known as the Tavistock Clinic. Plans for the UK to close its infamous child transgender and child destructive unit has been delayed by the country's cowardly government. A report this week has suggested, because they daren't close it in case those weird mentally ill men go, oh no, look, we demand the right to destroy children, or you're being phobic. Screw them all, don't care. The Gender Identity Development Service, the Child's Transgenderism Clinic, located in the Tavistock and Portman NHS Foundation Trust in London, will remain open, destroying children's lives until next year, a report on Thursday has claimed. This is in despite of the UK government previously committing to shuttering the infamous clinic by the summer of this year, after numerous reports uncovered serious and systemic issues with the service, which frequently hands children believed to be experiencing gender dysphoria damaging puberty blockers without examining these children, with no psychological or psychiatric evaluation. Oftentimes these children are the victims of abuse, they are depressed, they are undergoing normal teenage angst, or they are on the autism spectrum somewhere. And yet, because they've once said something, maybe, they're whipped in here, off with their ghoulies, given this medication, and watching as their lives are destroyed. And there is currently a massive backlash going against this. Many people detransitioning and looking to sue. It could be one of the biggest lawsuits in medical history in this country. The NHS could be on the hook for billions, with a B. Billions. And yet still they're pushing children down this one-way street to completely destroy them, to remove them, to sterilise them on an industrial scale. The people working there are little better than the likes of Mengele and his cronies in those camps during the war. According to a report by the BBC, however, such plans to close the clinic, which was outright deemed to be not safe for children by a government-backed investigation, the Cass report, have been significantly delayed, with GIDS now not set to close until March 2024. So the government of this country are now in cahoots with people who want to do this and abuse and destroy children and their futures. That is what the government in this country... I knew the Conservatives could be bad. I knew the Conservatives had a streak in them. But even I did not think that they would stoop to such a low level that they would systemically destroy children. And there they go. And yet they're doing it. What's more, the delay has apparently been put in place solely in order to allow the establishment of 2 new regional clinics aimed at pushing the same transgender medical interventions for children, but in a different place and therefore under a different name, and then perhaps the problem will go away because people won't associate these places with the Tavistock. Oh yes, we will. We'll be watching and we'll be recording and we will be reporting and we will be showing each and every one of them. And especially as the court cases come in when they start suing the government and the NHS. A spokesman for the evil bastards that call themselves Stonewall said that they're happy to destroy children in order to push their sick, degenerate agenda. But he also said that the NGO is pleased by the delay in closing the unsafe service for children. They like destroying children, do Stonewall. They're all corrupt, evil bastards. He said, with the official pressuring the UK to provide further support to the thousands of children who have never had any kind of examination as to whether they are transgender or any other problem belaying them, and yet which Stonewall want to whip the ghoulies off and turn them into girls or the other way round. This is because Stonewall have this agenda. They do not care about children. They use them as purely cannon fodder. The government's commitment to keeping the unsafe child transgenderism clinic open, unlike other clinics, are in operation once again, shows how ultimately pro-trans the ruling Conservative Party is, despite its own figures showing that there aren't the 250,000 trans in the country that they thought there were, but there are about 2,500, because they're fucking morons who can't ask a simple question. Are you trans is the simple question. But they can't say that in case the trans lobby take offence. They go, do you recognise the body in which you are born to be the same in which you express your gender? Which is fine for people who can actually understand English. But for people for whom English is not their first language, or even not speak it at all, it means that the Muslim community in this country ended up having the biggest trans lobby in the country. Obviously wrong, but they daren't. Oh my God, we can't say words that might upset the little sensibilities of the mentally fucking ill. But, you know, we're going to have to open up a transgender clinic in Brent to cater for all the Muslim transgenders, according to government figures. They've now corrected it and realised they were wrong. Say it ain't so. But the Tory government are pushing this. They're pushing the destruction of children on an industrial scale, because they don't want to be seen as ists and phobes. Instead, they're seen as groomers, peas, and the destroyers of children. But hey, you paid your money and takes your choice. At least you're not homophobic. At least you're not transphobic. And at least you're not anti-gay and lesbian. No, but you are the destroyers of children. So hey, well done. You're not getting my vote, and I think a lot of people won't give you that vote. The Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, a man who agrees with destroying children, as does every single person in the Conservative Party, because they haven't been standing up and saying anything against this, has even committed to making it a crime to try and convince someone they're not transgender under the so-called anti-conversion therapy. Which means if a child goes to a psychiatrist and the psychiatrist says, actually, you're not transgender, you are depressed, that psychiatrist can then be sued. Which means the psychiatrist isn't going to say that, isn't going to give a correct medical diagnosis. He's simply going to go, look, get in there, I'll get you sterilised and everything will be fine. That's what this government is pushing. And the trouble is, who are you going to vote for? Because it's the same line from Labour, from the Lib Dems and the Greens. everyone in every party, every single party is pushing for the mass sterilisation of children. So I have to ask, I mean, we're looking at this, I have to ask, is there no political party in this country capable of standing up, looking the likes of Stonewall in the eye, looking the likes of the Tory party, the Labour party, the Lib Dems, the SNP, the Greens, you name it, looking them in the eye, calling them what they are, child abusing bastards, and telling them to go fuck off and leave the children alone, you PD fucking cocks. Because every single one of them is pushing for this shit. They all want to destroy children. Ask your MP if he'll vote for that. When they come tapping at your door, say, right, I've got a question for you. Are you going to vote for this? And if they say, well, it's the party line, tell them, well, you're a party of fucking peas, groomers and wankers. Every single one of you. You might as well have stood there in 1939 and marched in a fucking uniform straight in to Auschwitz. You'd have been the ones in the guard towers, because you're all wankers. Every single one of them. Every party is pushing this. Anyway, the party also boasts Britain's first ever openly transgender MP, with parliamentarian Jamie Wallis coming out as trans last year, instead of actually being what he should have done, which is seeking psychiatric help. He allegedly being arred and blackmailed after a hookup gone wrong. Oh, what a shame. What a fucking shame. You're pushing the destruction of children. So I've got zero giving a fuck about you. Zero. None. Every single one of you can drop dead tomorrow because you're all destroying children. Every single one of you. And there he is. There she is, should I say. Britain's first transgender MP. She wants to destroy children. Don't vote for her. Don't vote for any of them. Ask every single one of them if they want to agree this kind of crap. And they'll say yes, because they daren't say no. They haven't got the spine to say no in case the very loud but very small mentally ill trans community goes, oh, you're Islamophobes. Fuck them. Fuck every one of them. And I'm very, very angry, and I'm stopping now. I'm coming up and finishing. Why do they all think it's acceptable to destroy children? Why do they all think that appeasing these mentally ill groups will work out anything other than badly? We all know how appeasement works. Neville Chamberlain appeased you-know-who in 1939. That didn't end so well either. And these groups are no different from from the man Neville Chamberlain was meeting, shall we say. It's pointless, it's stupid, it's destructive. And it shows every single political party to be utterly craven and cowardly, as well as just plain evil. I ask every parent out there who's got a child at school or, anywhere, no, not even there, no conditions. I ask every parent out there, next time your MP or prospective MP comes to your door in an election, probably early next year, some point next year, they're going to be banging on your door, trying to convince you to give them your vote. Simply ask them that question. Do you think destroying children for appeasing the mentally ill trans lobby is a good deal? Because that is what their party is doing. And it doesn't matter what party they come from. Their party's doing it. Every single party. Can't vote for any of them, can you really? They're all fucking wankers. Anyway, I'll stop now. Thank you very much for watching. And I apologise for my outburst, but I get so angry about it. Oh well, do hit a like button. And goodbye.